Good evening, viewers, and welcome to this edition of NTV Sports Page. It's Wednesday, the 6th of January, and I'm Curtis Morton. In our headlines, CWI pays tribute to Gordon Butch Stewart, and in our feature for this evening, Kyron Powell saga can go to the court of law, says Nevis's cricket chief. We'll take this break, and I'll be right back.
Drink carry pain, yeah. Just tap and be on your way, hey, hey. Drink carry pain, hey. Your cashless future your way, hey. Carry pain. It's fast, secure and cashless. No need for internet access. Use your card anywhere, anytime at participating merchants. Carrypay.com. If you sign up, no more waiting in bank. Just a line up. It's fast and secure, cashless for sure. Need I say more? Sign up. We also do person to person, direct deposits, yeah. And salary. Carrypay reduces fraud, money laundering, yeah. And burglary. Carrypay, yeah. Just tap and be on your way, hey, hey. Drink Carrypay, hey, hey. Your cashless future your way, hey. Carrypay.
Well, I'm back, and we start with some sad news in cricket. Cricket West Indies yesterday paid tribute to Gordon Butch Stewart, who sadly passed away on Monday. Mr. Stewart, the outstanding Jamaican businessman and entrepreneur, was the founder and chairman of Sandals International Resorts, the long-standing and valued partner of West Indies cricket. Stewart was a stalwart of Caribbean society and an iconic figure across the region, and a true supporter of the game of cricket at all levels. Speaking on behalf of the CWI, President Ricky Skerritt said, CWI mourns the passing of the Honorable Gordon Butch Stewart and sends our sincerest condolences to his family. He was a lifelong West Indies cricket fan, a fierce champion for the Caribbean, and a major commercial partner. He was also a true West Indian legend in his own right. He established a unique and very successful Caribbean brand and created many opportunities for young men and women across the region to grow. We'll take this break, and I'll be back with our feature for this evening. Well, I'm back, and tonight cricket is in the spotlight. In a recent interview with NTV Sports, President of the Nevis Cricket Association, Kyron Powell, reiterated his concerns over the non-selection of Kyron Powell in the West Indies team set to tour Bangladesh, and statements by Chief Selector Roger Harper that young Powell had failed the required fitness tests. Let's take in this exclusive interview with Mr. Powell. I have the distinct honor and indeed privilege to chat as per usual with the President of the Nevis Cricket Association, Mr. Kyron Powell. Now, Sippy, there's an issue in the air. It's about your son, and I'm sorry it's so personal, but I know if it was another Nevisian cricketer, you'd have done the same thing. There's an issue about the non-selection of Kyron Powell to the West Indies cricket team, even after, I think, some 12 persons declined the invitation to tour Bangladesh. Kyron Powell still cannot make it after a very good season last year into the Windies team. Tell us your thoughts. I know you have written about the issue, but tell us your thoughts in terms of this particular saga.
Well, let me start by saying that some years ago, when Tonito Willett had been omitted from the Leeward side, that even though I was not president of Nevis or a member of Leewards, I personally wrote to President Gregory Shillingford in Antigua and got him to investigate the matter. He sought legal advice from Bird and Associates in Antigua, and the recommendation was that Tonito be reinstated in the Leeward side. I'm not doing this because Kyron is my son. I'm doing this because Kyron is a Nevisian, and his home base is the Nevis Cricket Association. So the world knows that Kyron Powell, along with Evan Lewis and Shima Hetmeyer, failed a fitness test in December of 2019, that was. And so shortly thereafter, Shimon Hetmeyer was offered a fitness test. I mean, I'm talking about in less than a month. Thereafter, Evan Lewis was offered a fitness test. 12 months later, Kyron Powell has not been afforded a fitness test by the West Indies Cricket Board. The Leeward Islands conducted their own fitness tests, and Kyron has on at least 2 occasions passed the fitness test. The pass mark for the yo-yo test is 40. He ran a 40, he improved it to 43. The West Indies Cricket Board and Roger Harper, the lead selector, insist that Kyron has not yet met the fitness standard for him to be selected, even though he has twice passed that mark, and the Leewards Board on each occasion were given the test scores. Whether they sent those to the West Indies Board is a different matter. But here is our situation. A player from Nevis has been placed in cricket quarantine. He has been told that in order for you to be eligible to perform your role as a professional cricketer, that he has to pass the test. But the West Indies Board is refusing to give him the test. They have made no arrangements for him to take the test. And they are not recognizing the scores which he did on his fitness test here.
Okay.
Even though he played in the CPL and he was available in Trinidad, they have not yet seen it fit to give him a fitness test. And we're saying from the Cricket Association that he has met every single selection criteria laid out by the West Indies Cricket Board. And as such, it has to be some non-cricketing reason why he's not in the side.
Carlisle, for the benefit of our viewers / listeners, some time ago, Curtis Morton Jr. told me about fitness tests, and that they could be pretty excruciating. I mean, he was selected to the West Indies under-15 cricket team many moons ago. And he also would have been involved in refereeing in the St. Kitts Nevis local situation from a football standpoint. And he's talking about the difficulties of fitness tests. For the benefit of the viewers / listeners, could you kind of explain what it entails for a professional cricketer, and even as you mentioned, the yo-yo and so on? What are these?
I don't have the specifics, Curtis, but it has to do with a lot of physical part aspects of the requirements. You have to run certain distances in certain times. Okay. But not only that, if the West Indies Board or the Leewards Board had an issue with the fitness, all of them were recorded, Curtis. All of them were recorded on video, so that you can get the video to substantiate the claims of the test results. And in addition to that, I have to tell you as well that the team that was selected to go to Bangladesh, they say all of them met the fitness standards. Where did they go to do the fitness test? Did those players go to a particular venue? Did our people here in the Leewards go to a particular place to get their fitness test? Couldn't Kyron Powell have been afforded the same opportunity?
That is so true. Okay. And so, as it stands, you wrote on behalf of the Nevis Cricket Association, supported by the executive members of the association. In response to your letter, I saw a kind of an email from Mr. Kumar Rodney of the Antigua Cricket Association, and he seems as if he's slighting what you wrote. I don't know if you saw that particular email.
Of course I did.
And I don't know what your response is to that.
I dismissed it. I have not even responded to Kumar, because 12 months after Kyron Powell failed a fitness test, and every other player who failed the test had been given opportunities to retake the test, Kyron Powell has not been given such an opportunity. Yet still, he participated in fitness tests for the Leeward Islands Hurricanes, conducted by Hans Richards, the trainer, and Stewart Williams, the coach. He passed those fitness tests on at least 2 occasions. Kumar Rodney has not sought to find out why the West Indies Cricket Board is giving out this false information that Kyron Powell has failed to meet the fitness standard. And as a director of the Leewards Board, and as a director of the West Indies Cricket Board from the Leewards Board, he ought to know of the results and that Kyron has passed. Kumar has remained silent. He has not said a word on that. And so the Navy's Cricket Association is adamant. No Kuma Rodney, nobody at all will stop us from representing the interests of the players of Navy's.
What about the Leeward Islands Cricket Board? Because just earlier today, I read a response from Roger Harper to the Leeward Islands Cricket Board. I didn't say response to your particular letter, but obviously, based on my readings, the Leeward Islands Cricket Board went a little further. You spoke about Kyron. They spoke about Kyron, Devon Thomas, and Sheeno Berridge. Your thoughts on their letter and the response by Roger Harper?
But let me give you the chronology of events. West Indies cricket side was selected. I heard about it from my sources in Trinidad and Barbados. I saw a release on the side from Andre Batiste in Trinidad. He works at a radio station. And I asked some questions in the Leeward's chat, and they were very tight with the information. So after I realized that they were tight with the information, I physically posted the release of the teams. And our directors knew and said nothing. So I posted the teams as released by Andre Batiste before the West Indies had released the team.
Oh.
Now, on the Tuesday, the 29th, Roger Harper was asked, well, the Leeward's board wrote to Roger Harper, the lead selector. That is the decision that was taken in the Leeward's chat. The very same day, Tuesday, the 29th, Roger Harper appeared on Mason and Guest in Barbados, a radio show. And Mason asked him about Kyron Powell's exclusion. And he seemed agitated. Don't ask me that question again, essentially. So he said Kyron Powell had not met the fitness standards. I went back to the Leeward's chat and I inquired, can I have the results of the test which had been conducted by the Leewards? No response. So I said the second time, I am aware that Kyron Powell passed the fitness test twice, in April and in July. Finally, I got some results. And I said, well, Kyron ran a 40. The pass mark is 40. How is Roger saying that he failed the fitness test? Were these results sent to the West Indies Cricket Board? Nobody has answered that question up to this present moment, as I speak to you on the 4th of January. Okay. Roger Harper, having made that statement, mind you, I said to them early when the team was released, the Navy's Cricket Association will issue a release 12 hours after the West Indies team has been released. I didn't wait 12 hours, Curtis. I waited for days because I waited to see if the Leewards would issue a statement after Roger had said that Kyron had failed the fitness test, because the Leewards board knew that Kyron had passed the fitness test. Okay. When they said nothing, I drafted a statement and sent it to the Navy's Cricket Association management. And I said, with your approval, I would like to release this statement. And we agreed on the release. I issued the statement. 2 days later, on the 31st, Roger Harper issued a response to the Leeward's board, pointing out that Sheeno Berridge, he was considered, but that another fast bowler took his spot. And the other two did not meet the fitness standard.
Not calling any names.
Not calling any names. The other two, I took great offense at that. And as a result of that, we issued a statement from the Navy's Cricket Association. And we pointed out all the facts, not only that Kyron had passed the fitness test, but runs. 524 runs at 58. He was the top batsman in this Super 50. So if he's saying that they picked Kejon Otley as an opener because Shai Hope is an opener, he couldn't go. Kejon Otley is left-handed and he had a good time in the Super 50. Kyron Powell is still a left-hander. Kyron Powell scored the most runs. And Kyron Powell, remember, in Test cricket, scored 2 centuries against Bangladesh in the same Test match. So we had to point out that, and it seems to me as if some members of the Leeward's board have taken offense at that. But the Navy's Cricket Association will be proactive on this matter.
Okay. Where do you think it's going to go, though? Because I remember you said that in the case of Tonito Willett, legal advice was sought. I guess that the team is heading off to Bangladesh. Is that the end of this story?
Not at all, because I tell you two things. On this whole issue of fitness, remember Ramnaris Sarwan won a settlement against the West Indies Cricket Board. Remember Nasir Dionarain won a settlement against the West Indies Cricket Board on the grounds of fitness. I believe Kyron has a case.
Okay.
And I've already told him to seek legal advice because I think he has a case.
Okay.
You can't tell somebody, in order for you to play for me, you must pass a fitness test. But I refuse to give you a fitness test for 12 months. That is restraint of trade.
Got you. So, unless something is done urgently from the WICB standpoint, probably this matter may end up in court.
It might have to be determined by a court of law.
Okay. As we look forward to the upcoming season, what would you kind of tell Kyron and the other players from the Leewards? Because I understand that the Leeward squad probably has been selected.
Well, no, remember they are professionals now.
Okay.
So the retained players will be going to Antigua for a training camp.
For when?
I am told that they should be traveling on the 8th.
On the 8th.
Kyron has been asking for the last 4 weeks, when is the training camp in Antigua? What is the procedure for quarantine? He lives in London.
Okay.
Nobody has responded to him. So if he goes to Antigua, suppose I said to him today, the training camp starts on the 8th, and he gets a flight and he goes to Antigua today, 14 days quarantine.
Sure.
He's going to miss much of the training camp. It makes no sense.
Sure.
And you see, Curtis, I have been quietly thinking to myself that 2 years ago when Kyron said to them, listen, I cannot take your offer of a contract and become a retained player, because that would mean my living in St. Kitts. But I have business. And my business demands that I spend more time than I would be able to afford looking after it if I lived in St. Kitts.
Okay.
So he lives in London.
Okay.
And he does his business in the United States of America and in Europe.
Okay.
When he comes to the Caribbean for training camp, he has to buy his own ticket.
Gotcha.
He has to pay his own accommodation, feed himself. But he does it because he's always available to the Leewards.
Gotcha.
But yet still, the moment he said, listen, I cannot accept your offer of a contract, what happened next? They took away the captaincy.
Wow.
You trace it back.
Okay. So, well, we hope that he'll be able to. And what time does that tournament start? The regional tournament?
I think that's sometime in February. I'm still to get the dates.
Okay. So let's hope, though, whether it's court or no court, that Kyron will have another successful year.
Hopefully.
That this whole thing would not.
He has been training hard.
mentally. Right. So,
I have seen videos of him training in England in sub-zero temperature.
wow.
And he has been out there daily doing his training and doing his batting and getting ready.
Okay, great. Okay, Carlyle, so we hope too that the Leewards Cricket Board and other related parties will also support our players in a big way. And not only Kyron, but the case for Devon Thomas and Sheena Burridge also.
All of the players.
Who would have performed.
But
really
our
well.
first priority
Is Kyron.
is Kyron Powell.
Because of what's going on with
and Nevis cricket.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sippy, for enlightening us on this matter. And we look forward to amicable solutions in the not too distant future.
All Kyron wants is for them to recognize the test by the Leewards or schedule their own test. He's prepared to go out and participate in the test.
Great.
But for them to have him in cricket quarantine and say he has failed the fitness test, he has not failed it. They have not given a test. If you don't want a man to pass, just don't give him the test.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
if you give him
That's
the test, he might
easy thing to
pass.
do. Yeah, that's it. Okay, thank you so much, Sippy.
Well, here's hoping that matter will be amicably resolved. That's our package for this evening. I am Curtis Morton, reminding you that you can watch sports if you're not fit. But to play sports requires fitness, diligence, and sacrifice. Have a good night.